Okay, so we're going to talk about Millie's training and her training collars to help us stay consistent with her commands. So with Millie, when we like something that she does, we want to increase the rate of that behavior. So reinforcing her behavior with either treats, praise, or petting is going to increase the rate of that behavior. So we have to be careful, and we need to make sure we don't accidentally reinforce behaviors that we don't like, such as jumping or barking or nipping. So if she does any of those, we want to use a correction, which is what we're going to use the collars for. And if she disobeys a command or doesn't do what she's supposed to, that's how we're going to balance out. So we're going to reinforce what we like to increase the rate of that behavior, and correct or use the collars to decrease the rate of the behaviors that we do not like. So we're going to dive into her remote collar. So on the collar itself, there's a little red dot right here. That is a magnet. So the key to that magnet is on her remote to turn on the collar. You want to make sure this is turned on before you put it on Millie. So we look at the remote. On the side right here, you'll see a little matching red dot. We're going to touch the two together, and that's going to turn on the remote. So we're just going to give them a little tap. You'll see a green light. Green light means it's on, charged, ready to go. It's going to flash green every few seconds to let you know that it is on and charged. If you see it flashing orange or red, that means the collar is about to die. You need to put it on the charger. When Millie's wearing the collar, make sure the light is facing out like this. So it's facing the same direction that her face is facing. And then we're going to set this to the side for just a second. We're going to turn on the remote. So on the remote, the back side here, there's a big button in the middle with an L on it. It stands for on, off, and light switch. So we're going to push and hold that for a few seconds until the screen lights up. So the screen should be on. You should see a number 20, the letter M, and 1D at the top. This is what it is automatically set at for Millie. So the level 20 stands for how intense the stimulation is. 20 out of 100 is not too high. It's right now, it's good for Millie. This might need to increase or decrease as you're working with her in the home. Due to her age, she's young, so her distraction level kind of varies. So sometimes she's more distracted. When dogs are more distracted, they don't feel as much stimulation, so we might need to increase the stimulation to match her tolerance at that time. So to show you, I'm going to put it on my hand. What you are going to push is the black S button here for any and all corrections. So for example, let's say we're working on her heel command. Heel means walk next to me. Let's say she tries to walk in front of us or do something else like jump up or do anything that's not walking politely next to us. We're going to say no and push the black S button. So you can see I pushed the button, and even though I'm holding the button down, it only did that little click of a stimulation. That's because it's set to momentary, and that's all she needs right now. So again, no, correction, and I can feel that, a little uncomfortable, not painful. So no, correction, and then repeat the command. So for example, heel, which is walk next to me on the left-hand side. If she starts to walk in front, no, correction, heel, and then we're going to use the leash and collar to help guide her back where she needs to be. Same thing for sit, which stay is implied with all of the sit, down, and place stays. So stay is implied. If she gets up before you tell her free, then it's no, correction, sit, no, correction, down, no, correction, place. And then again for recall or come when called. If you call her to come to you and she's like, no, I'd rather sniff this grass, no, correction, come. And then of course, when she does these commands correctly, you want to reinforce and reward with food, praise, and petting. So we use hot dogs, but you can use any kind of treat that Millie likes. She's not very picky, so whatever she'll eat, you can use as a reward for her. So we're going to talk about the red button. So we're going to mostly use the black S button, but the red button is here in case we need it. It is going to increase the level by 15. So it is a boost feature. The reason we have this is because, again, like we talked about, higher distraction, maybe she needs a higher correction level. So this is for emergencies only. Let's say Millie were to take off and start heading for the road and you call her to come to you and she's too excited, she doesn't listen, so level 20 doesn't work. You want to immediately push the red button because that's a big enough jolt to kind of like, oh my gosh, like get her attention back onto what she's doing, kind of snap her out of that really intense drive mode. Then we're gonna talk about this T button. It's vibrate, so you can kind of see the phone, or see the collar vibrate just like a phone would. So I use this for warnings, but I would not rely on it because it's kind of like counting to 3. She's gonna find out that you're not really serious about making her do the commands or asking her to do the commands. Next, we're gonna go over the flashlight feature. So on the back, the on-off button, if you tap it, it turns into a flashlight for the collar. So tap it again. So once, and it's gonna be a flashing light. Tap it again, solid flashlight. Tap it again, turns the flashlight off. So if you go to turn the remote off and you don't hold it long enough, it will activate the flashlight. This little M/C button back here, you do not have to worry about it. It just changes the setting, but if you don't like press and hold it, it's not going to adjust the setting because you want on the screen for there to be a letter M on the side, no other letters. Right here's the dial. So right now you can see that the levels, hopefully you can see that they're not moving, but if I push and hold it, now it has unlocked the levels to turn up or down. This is how you're going to turn the levels up or down if Millie needs more than 20. She might need 25 or 30. She might need 15. It just depends on how she's doing at your house, the level of distractions. So you can kind of play around with that. If you don't think she's listening as well as she should, turn it up to 25 or 30. If you think she's overreacting to the correction, then turn it down to level 15. So we're going to turn the collar off because that's everything. So to turn it off, the collar part, touch the two together. You see a red light. Red light means it's off. And then you're going to push and hold the back button until the screen goes dark. They're rechargeable, so the charging port's on the back for the remote here, and underneath where the little prongs are. This can last about 2 days on a charge, and you know, it should only take a couple hours to charge. When you put this on Millie, make sure it's high and snug on her skin. So again, the light needs to be facing out. It needs to be snug, allowing only 1 to 2 fingers in between the collar so that the contact points make good connection with her skin. Also, to make sure that it doesn't rub back and forth and create irritation. This is waterproof. She can go swimming with it. It can go underwater, totally fine if she gets wet or if it's raining, but you want to make sure that you take the collar off and let her skin breathe. That way it doesn't create a bacteria from the moisture and create a skin infection. This is her prong collar. So this is the collar that you're going to use to walk Millie. So the prong collar looks like this. To take it off, to put it on her, you're going to have to undo the little prongs like that. Put it around her neck, and then you're going to put one end in, squeeze the other one. So I'm going to do that again this way. Put one end, squeeze, good to go. So it's going to go remote collar and then prong collar on Millie. So it's going to look like this, and this is her head. So remote collar goes on first as high as it can, but then it's going to scooch down, and then the prong collar goes on above that. And this is mostly for walks and a little bit in the house as you're transferring the respect over, just to help guide Millie so she's set up for more success. You might have to use the leash for a couple days in the house. This is just to make sure that she's understanding what you're asking in a new environment. And again, the leash attaches to the ring like this. It does not attach to the circle. It attaches to the D-ring, and when you use this, you're going to pop and release it like this. Quick pop and release. Inside her box, we have her charger that can charge both the remote and the collar at the same time. We have couple of things over here. She doesn't have long hair, so you don't need the extenders, but there is this little tool right here to tighten the little prongs on her remote collar in case she does go swimming. You want to make sure those are tight so water doesn't get in and ruin the electronics. Underneath here we have the instruction manual to go over all the buttons in greater detail if you want to, but we covered all the features that you'll need. This does have a 2-year warranty. So just send an email, it's on the box right there, and let them know that you have this model and you want to register it for the 2-year warranty, so that way if anything happens in the next 2 years, you can get it replaced. So that is her equipment, again, we're going to reward what we like, correct what we don't like to increase the rate of the behavior that we want and decrease the behavior that we do not want. So now we're going to show you Millie's commands. Good girl. Good girl. Sit. Free.
No. You.
Yeah. Sit. Nope. Sit. Heel.
Yeah. Heel. 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 Huh? Okay.
Sit. Good girl. Sit. Free. Heel.
Heel. Heel. Heel. Heel.
Down. Down. Good girl. Down. Down. Good girl. Down. Down. Good girl. Good. Down. Free. Good girl. Leave it. Good girl. Okay. Leave it. Good girl. Okay. Okay. Right there, right there. Good job. Leave it. Ooh, good girl. Okay. Okay. Yay! Place. Good girl. Good. Place. 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 Good place. Good place. Place. Good place. Place. Free. Go girl. Good job. Ooh, good place. Place.